Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Father. Now, the question that we received recently was this one. It's a great question. Can you be a Catholic and yet disagree with some of the things that the church teaches? Now, this is a question that increasingly I get asked, especially from young people, and it's a very, very important question. So, the first thing to say is that the church doesn't expect us all to be carbon copies of each other. God made us as unique individuals who come from different cultures and perspectives and life experiences. And so we'll all approach our faith from a slightly different angle. And that's a good thing. There's a richness that comes from that. And within the body of the church, people sit on a spectrum which adds to that richness. We all express our faith differently. There are some in the church, we might say on the left or the right, some traditional, some charismatic, some who prefer solemn liturgy, some more energetic, evangelical liturgy. So we're a broad church. We're made up of people from all walks of life. We're Catholic and universal in that sense. And we shouldn't attack people who come from different viewpoints. There's a legitimate space for differences. But what is important is that we're all bound together by our common baptism and our common faith. And that's expressed in the words of the Creed that we recite at Mass every Sunday. That contains 12 articles of the most important and fundamental beliefs of the Christian faith. So that becomes, if you like, our point of unity. Even with all our differences, we unite around the articles of the Creed. So if you meet a Catholic and that Catholic professes, I believe in two gods, rather than I believe in one God, then that's obviously a big problem. That person has departed from the true faith and the beliefs and doctrines of our church. So the Creed is a must for all of us because it contains the most essential truths, or dogmas we sometimes say, of our faith. And it's not only the Creed that we're asked to uphold. All of the dogmas or truths as revealed by God and definitively taught by the church should be accepted and believed by Catholics. We sometimes call the teaching of the church, the teaching office of the church, the magisterium. So when the Pope, united with the bishops, declares something to be true in matters of faith and morals, then we should accept that teaching in faith. And a good example of that would be the church's commitment to the unborn. If a Catholic were to promote or defend abortion, for example, the killing of unborn children, then that's obviously a very serious problem. That runs absolutely contrary to the settled doctrine of the church. You can't be Catholic and pro-abortion. But if the Pope tells Catholics that they must accept that pizza is better than pasta, then of course you're free to disagree and to disregard it. It's not related to faith and morals. Believing in these essential revealed truths is crucial if we're to remain in communion with the church that we love. If the church solemnly confirms a doctrine of our faith, then we're obliged to give it our assent. And that does mean accepting that we live under the authority of the church. Lots of people today kind of struggle with that idea. But that's the truth of it. The Lord established a church and a line of apostles and bishops to guide, to govern the church along the pathways of truth. So we have to trust in that. Is it difficult sometimes? Absolutely. There are probably lots of teachings that we find difficult. But the gospel is difficult. The gospel is countercultural. The standards of the gospel are different to the standards of the world. It involves sacrifice, self-denial. It involves putting God's standards above our own ideas. But that's what we do when we are Catholic. Now, some people will say, but what about our commitment to conscience, our conscience, and that inner moral voice which directs us towards what is good and true? And this is very important. We are obliged above all to follow the voice of our conscience. But crucially, it should be an informed conscience, informed and fully aware of the teaching and the doctrine of the Church, and informed too about the authority which Christ gave to his magisterium, the Church. An ignorant conscience is a very dangerous thing that could lead us astray very easily and very quickly. So, the short answer to the original question is this. Within the Church, there is significant freedom to hold personal views and to express our faith in a variety of different ways. That's a good thing. We're a broad Church. But we are united and we are woven together by the principal beliefs and doctrines of our faith, as found in Revelation and in the teaching office of the Church. And these doctrines should be accepted and lived by those who have an informed conscience. This is what guarantees our communion within the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. God bless.